Hello, dear Leo. Welcome back to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for June 2020. Welcome to June. We've made it. It's a very intense time with very intense energies. I think only tomorrow we have a full moon in Sagittarius. It's an eclipse. It's eclipse season. That means a lot of work, intensity. We have a lot of retrogrades. Venus is retrograde in Gemini. Um, the outer planets, I think they're all more or less in retrograde. Let us not get into that too much. I hope you're well, Leo. I really hope you're well. How are you doing? So let's get into your reading. This is a general reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading, all right? Use your intuition to know what messages apply and the way they apply to your story. My readings focus much more on the internal landscape rather than trying to guess you outside circumstances. They're supposed to be used as support for inner guidance or to make sense of your experience in a sense. All right, my dear. Now let's see what we have. So you have the Eight of Pentacles as your current energy for June. Okay, working hard, Leo. This is your challenge. The Queen of Pentacles is your challenge. All right. This is your advice, the Six of Swords. Now let's see what's your future energy. Knight of Wands is your future energy. Very well. And bottom of the deck, you have the Page of Swords as your underlying energy, the theme of your reading. Great. Now let's see. I'm going to pull out some clarifiers from this new deck that I just got, which I really love. It's called the Wild Unknown Tarot. Okay, that's too much, please. One card. Let's clarify these cards, please. Okay, something did turn. So we have the Five of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles as your current energy. Now, why is the Queen of Pentacles here as your challenge? You have the Hanged Man. I really love these drawings. They're fantastic. All right, so why is the Six of Swords your advice? The Lovers. Why is the Knight of Wands your future energy? Daughter of Wands and the Empress. Okay. And bottom of the deck, we have Justice. Justice. With the Page of Swords. Yet another sword, see? That's a very interesting Justice card. I'm still new to this deck, so I'll take my time with it, but I really love discovering the imagery and the symbolism. All right, so your theme, the theme of your reading for June, the Page of Swords and Justice. I think you're undergoing a transformation of your mind level. Your mind is, I know it sounds weird, changing, but it's not changing because I don't know, it's something that happens naturally. It's not something that you push yourself to do. And with Justice, I love that it has this black and white, and I love that this diamond here in the middle is shows the opposite, right? Like black to the white and the other way around, which makes me think of the yin and yang, which makes me think of the duality of the world and how our perception of this duality is, what is black and what is white, what is good and what is bad. We perceive everything through a duality of sorts. And it may be that your view of the world transforms deeply based on your understanding of this duality and this conditioning, and also understanding perhaps that this is not the only way to experience the world. We are conditioned to experience it in this way, but once we realize it and once we don't take that as the highest authority, and we start seeing these two as parts of the same coin, like two sides of the same coin. There, you can't have light without the dark. It won't be able to see anything. And the same, you won't be able to see anything if everything would be just light. We need shadow just as much. And we all have, everything comes in pairs of opposites that we need to balance and understand them as a whole. We can't take one side or the other, we need to take them both. That's kind of the wisdom that I think you're naturally opening up towards. And that's probably changing a lot the way you see the world, the way you see yourself. It's a window change in the air. The way you look at your past and the way you're embracing the future, it brings you a lot of clarity. It may also bring you some um, this desire to communicate this. The Page of Swords is a student of communication, so maybe you're finding your way to communicate better this perspective that's opening up to you. I'm also thinking about justice in general. Justice, I mean, we are definitely living some very interesting times, and the question of justice comes up quite a lot these days, globally and so on. And of course, it has to do with inequality in so many ways. But how would we see a just world? We all know that there is no justice in the world, not really. Everything has to do with class, with race, with privilege, with one and another. But can we envision a world where these things, these opposites come into balance? So that was a long intro, Leo, and seems to be quite a big month from this aspect. I think it's a beautiful journey. Now let's see what's your current energy. So yes, you maybe find yourself in that place where you are able to put a lot of work hard, and work hard on something that is important to you. Now, coming with this Five of Wands here, I think you're also working hard. I mean, Leo, you fire sign, you're very enthusiastic, you're very um warm-hearted and open, but you can also take things a little bit too personally sometimes and perceive everything as a competition. It's possible. And it's possible to all of us, but your particular, well, it depends also where it is, whether it's sun, moon, or rising, and how you relate to that. If it's more internal, or if it's more like what comes out into the world, or more what you're integrating into the world and within yourself and into your life path. But I think that you're really working with this now. How am I going to uh, take the perceived competition in a playful way, rather to use it in a way to motivate me to show what I can do, show of myself, show, like it's a little bit of a show force, but not in order to harm, or not in order to just show off, but rather to inspire others and to be inspired yourself by other people's display of themselves, and that can be very, very beautiful to work with, once the intention is clear that this is what you want to do. And I think you're working also with the darker side of this, of like, okay, why am I perceiving competition the way I do? How am I taking it personally? Am I going a little bit too far? Am I pushing a little bit too hard? um so yeah, this seems to be the theme. I mean, like what you're experiencing in the moment, in the present moment when you're viewing this. If you resonate with that, then it's your reading. If not, maybe it's not. Okay, so what seems to be challenging, the Queen of Pentacles. This is the challenge for you in the moment, but this is kind of the for this month. It's something that you need to overcome in order for growth and change to happen. So you have the Queen of Pentacles with the Hanged Man. Okay, so it's challenging for you to allow for the transformation to happen naturally. It's very challenging for you now to be present in your body, to be present in the moment, to be present with the seasons, to be present with things unfolding in a natural way. The hangman does talk about long periods of waiting and just allowing things to unfold. It also talks about sacrifice. Sacrificing what? Sacrificing that happens on with willingness, willing to sacrifice something for some type of a greater good. And sometimes that means just sacrificing some attachments to the way we think life should be, to the ideas and belief system that we've operated from, this duality that we were talking about, and maybe the way we tend to show up in this type of competitive environments. It can feel like a sacrifice, but it's just letting go of certain mind perceptions, and that can come from and end up being the identity that you put your worth on. Weirdly enough, we do that. Queen of Pentacles, she's super grounded. She's super connected with her worth. She's never questioned her worth because she understands that the worth is inherent. We do not, there is no question of worth really. I don't know, our worth had never really been on the table, and yet that's how we function into the world, believing that I need to justify my existence and my worth both to myself and the world. But these are things that are now under the question of justice and understanding that we're putting our focus in the wrong way, the wrong place. Our worth had never been a problem. More how what we are put our self-worth on, understanding that this is not so much about wanting to show off or wanting to for things to be in a certain way. It's a lot more about connecting to that gentle, nurturing part of ourselves that it's always, always, always connected to the earth, connected to the seasons, connected to the collective, connected to the body, and so on. So it may be really challenging for you right now to be a more grounded and connected and present, and willing to wait for things to unfold on their own. I think that makes I hope that makes sense to you. There's something else that wants to come through this Queen of Pentacles particularly. It may feel challenging to be nurturing to yourself right now, and to be nurturing in general. Maybe when you feel yourself on edge with this perceived competition, or competition that you're looking for, or when you feel a little bit challenged in your worldview, maybe you tend to become defensive. Okay, but as your advice, you have the Six of Swords with the Lovers, both sixes, by the way, which is a very beautiful reminder that, sixes are about service. Reminder of what is this all about? What is this for? Why am I even seeking to come into the world? What am I wanting to bring into the world? How I want to show up? What does it really matter? It's that thing that needs to come very clear at a mind level as you're embracing your true values that coming from your heart. What does it really matter for you? If you want to go into this place of like competition, and when you're feeling maybe a little bit triggered, when you're feeling it was like, remember, what is the end goal of this? Is it to just show that you're better than others, or is it to grow? Is it to be loving and compassionate, and bring a new perspective of possible better world out there where justice is possible, where transformation is possible, where growth is possible? Or is it holding very stubbornly to a identity that you put on some type of idea of yourself or of the world, which was either coming from either side of these, of the dark or of the the light or the shadow? So I think that your advice, just looking at this from this perspective, looking at this of like, okay, what's this all about? What does truly matter? Can help you grow, allow this moving on of a certain type of stubbornness and a certain type of competitiveness. And it's changing, it's really about changing your perspective here, because it's the swords, right? It's all about the mind. It's traveling from a place within your mind that maybe was, five of swords is actually previous to this, and it's all about being right. The six of swords is much more about coming into service, the greater good, understanding the needs of the collective, and also cutting our losses, letting go of something that doesn't is not healthy for us, whether that means a relationship or a worldview or a limiting belief about ourselves. And I think that your heart space plays a huge role in this. The way you see connection, the way you see love, the way you see what matters, the way you see a world where things are balanced. What does balance mean to you? And I know, like, whenever we're trying to think of an ideal world, a lot of resistance can come out, and we wonder, like, okay, how can that even look like? Because there's so many contradictions both within ourselves and into the world. But this is the whole work that you're doing this month, figuring out a balance and figuring out like the two ends of an axis, the two dualities or two extremes, two sides of one coin. Yeah, I think this is it. You're coming back to what really matters and making this exercise every time and time again whenever you feel maybe triggered at ego level or at this like passionate, fiery, competitive playfulness side. Sometimes it can be very playful and very and coming from the right place, but maybe the people around you don't either don't see it or don't perceive it like that. They can feel, I don't know, put down or whatever. That not to mean that you shouldn't keep your enthusiasm and so on, but don't expect always the people to get engaged in it the same way you do. It's a matter of kind of being okay with things as they are, that practice of equanimity. Okay. So yeah, coming always back to what matters. What is it that you really value? What is it that you need to where do you need to operate from in order for this to make any sense? Okay, so this takes you to the Knight of Wands, which is a adventurous, playful energy and an expansion of your spiritual realm, really. And then you have the Daughter of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. So it's a transformation that happens in your energy level, and again, having to do with your passion and the way you engage into the world, um, and how you what you believe about the world and about yourself. And then you have the Empress, which is pretty much the Queen of Pentacles, but at a higher level archetype. She's the nurturing mother, the mother of them all, mother of um the feminine principle of nurturing and caring and loving, but also feeling truly empowered by being exactly as you are and allowing yourself to connect to your senses, to the comfort of just being alive and tasting the food that you enjoy and enjoying your experience through your senses a lot more. And I think that the Knight of Wands does that too. He's somebody who experiences the world through the senses, and he learns through experience. The growth happens through playful experience of the world. There's this element of transformation. I like that it's an infinity. It's creating, it's an eight, but makes me think of the infinity, which is made by a snake. But see, it's not looped. It's not a closed loop. It's a movement, really. It's a movement. Pages do talk about transformation. So there's a lot of transformative energy in this month for you. And I don't see it to be very challenging, to be honest. I see you being able to bring a playful quality on it and be very very focused on what is it that, how to work with this, how to what to put my focus on and what matters and so on, and allowing kind of for this to go naturally. There's going to be resistance, of course, but given that you actually do this exercise again and again and again, what is it that truly matters, what is it that truly matters, what is that, sometimes we can get triggered too much on ego level, and then we forget what truly matters, that maybe sometimes um it's just a perceived threat, or other people have their own stuff, or we're not truly rejected, they are just like caught in their own mind, other people, and so on. There's the lovers here still at the core of your reading, so I believe that it can be a lot having to do with maybe your partner if you're in a relationship, or how you relate to people in your life that you care about, and see that element of competitiveness. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a Rumi oracle, trying to summarize what's going on in here. Okay, you wanted to come out, but not really. Let's see, what's the message for my dear Leo? What's the wisdom of the heart for my dear Leo? Okay, this one seems to... I surge in the uprising wave of love. Kind of makes sense, and I like that this is a navigation. Like these people are moving away from a difficult past, and on the other side, while navigating waters. And this is about wave of love, and you have the lovers right here. Okay, let me read this to you. Also, I see the moon here, so, and we have the full moon, as I told you, the eclipse, and some very, very important planetary movements that are affecting us all as a collective, and in very intense ways. And yeah, we can see that manifesting outside into the world. Okay, so the poem from Rumi says, "My life can be summed up in three accounts. I was raw, I was cooked, and I was burned." Rumi. Yeah. Make what you will of that. I'm not going to try to interpret it for you. I'm just going to read some of this very long read. So, greater forces of planetary movements affect us all. We experience day and night through the interplay of the earth, sun, and moon. Funny, I was just talking about the moon, yeah. This is a profound and obvious effect. The movements of the cosmos affect us deeply, body and soul. Some movements are perhaps less obvious in form, but are just as great, if not more so, in effect about our spiritual growth and life experiences. You are going through a cycle, or very soon will be, by which you will be moved by forces greater than your own personal will. This is a karmic period. Justice talks about karma just as well. So this is a karmic period, a time during which the movements of the greater planetary bodies will have an impact upon the earth and humanity. This is the way of things, greater cycles affecting smaller ones. The smaller ones are not less important, but they do have to bow to the power of the great in oneness with the magnificent unfolding of divinity that is life itself. we always have at our disposal choice as how to respond to these affecting movements and cycles. The effect of this karmic cycle now unfolding in your life is to bring you into sweet surrender and awakening into greater love. Yes. The Six of Swords is also a card of surrender. It's like letting go of a struggle and a fight and moving on to what matters. Um, However, even if we sense at one level that a shift has a positive end in store for us, we can encounter resistance and fear born of the ego. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you're talking. In response to the stirring of spiritual uprising, we may quake in our holy body and wonder if everything is getting out of control or into some disorder. We will be right in our sense of imminent chaos. The disorder, however, is the ego perspective because its range of vision is too small, too limited to comprehend the greater workings of the planetary systems that move life towards love. That is as it should be. The teacup is not made to hold the ocean, just actually a cup of tea. But if we begin to imagine that the cup of tea is preferable to the ocean simply because it is more containable, how much we miss out on. Okay, so I can see exactly where this is coming from. And yeah, this is a 5 and this is a 5 too. I think it's really very much about working with this. Okay, this is. So, why seek to impose a smaller and less interesting story upon life when the great master storyteller is weaving a fantastic tale of great love, great adventure, and sublime spiritual success? It is wiser, wilder, and more fun to serve the great wave of consciousness seeking to overtake you now. Dive in, surge with it. You are being given a gift of grace in this oracle, the promise that you won't drown and that you will, in fact, be given a glimpse of your own divinity should you choose to accept whatever will be offered to you. Don't try to swim against the tide of your own life journey. Go with it. The divine is there waiting for you, orchestrating waves upon which you may reach the heavenly shore. Yes, the divine is there waiting for you, waiting on a picnic blanket of fabric of the heavens, with a sacred feast of earthly bounty just now being unpacked in your honor. Get yourself into that ocean and ride those waves to your sacred date with the divine right now, sweet beloved. Serves up. This oracle comes with a message for you. There are changes happening and they will be out of your control. This is because you are ready for accelerated life change. Rather than paddling, you'll be caught up in a wave and moved further, faster. Let yourself surge on with the energy of what is happening, leading with your heart and just going with whatever unfolds. This will bring you the best fortune and open you up to the divine destiny that is your birth right this lifetime. Okay, I'm gonna read the sacred honoring ritual. If you feel the call to do it, go for it. If not, it's perfectly fine. You use your intuition, right? So the ritual says, placing your hands on your heart, say the following out loud. The grace of life touches my heart and I am courageous. I surge, I rise, I meet the divine beloved in every twist and turn. I journey home on the wave of love, and I graciously accept the hand of my divine beloved, guiding me now through love, mercy, and grace. So be it. Close your eyes and focus on your heart. If you wish, you may like to intend to connect to a feeling of love for your heart, wise guide as that is. When you feel you are done, you have completed your ritual. I think it makes a lot of sense with this advice that you are being given. Allowing your heart to guide you and the wave of love to guide you. This is really beautiful. Leo, it's a beautiful journey. I hope that you are willing to do it, to rise this wave and not get too stuck in fear. But remember, this is the work we're all doing, and we are all affected by these waves of of the greater planetary movements right now. Wishing you a smooth ride with this wave, and sending lots of love to you and your journey. If you resonate with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment the way it resonated for you. I really appreciate when people get engaged and tell me how they feel about this. And yeah, may our practice benefit all, may our practice benefit all beings. I'll see you here next month.